Hi, welcome to our five podcast in local gossiping. And it is actually the second episode of the culture shock. So here we go. The last time we were talking about the education. We finished like this education, and especially I put a focus on different how in Nordic countries the director and the boss is, and it was kind of weird for me at the beginning when I went to Olympia school because of that. So maybe you can start to explain what I mean.
Yeah, so when we were in camps, trying to figure out what is different between the Danish culture and the ones that we have at home, they try to explain the situation doing like a power pyramid, where they showcase how the uh, different boss structure or the director, sub-director, the employees are a structure in a business or in whatever organization that you're in. So in Spain, for example, maybe the boss is a person that it depends about how big the company is, but maybe you don't have a lot of chance to speak to the boss, or it's someone that you owe respect. Like you have to respect that figure, and it's quite distance. But whereas in Denmark, you want to.
Yeah, in Denmark is totally different when it's just where I was recently arriving on Olympia school. It's because the boss and the employees are in the same platform, if I could say like this. It means like the first day I arrived, Jens, our director, told me, okay, I'm the director, but I'm going to do the students all the time, and you will be part of this, like the pedagogues or the teacher. So if I have any remarks, any complaints about the materials or the organization or anything, I just have to tell him and making proposition. And they really like directors' feedbacks. And I really feel it because, for example, we have those meetings almost every month with our director who ask us, okay, how we feel, are we happy with what we have, do we want some changes or schedule? So it's really flexible. And it was really strange in a way because I don't know at the beginning how to positioning myself because I'm used to have order and just do it, and that people explain to me how to do it and after doing it. But here they just trust you. And trust is a really, really big thing in Denmark.
Yeah.
They trust you, but they trust also, and we'll talk about that, the government so well, they trust you. So they will not give you like things to do. You have to ask for doing things.
Yeah, it's I think I wrote somewhere that the Denmark it's one of the most trusted communities where they trust each other a lot, but they have a thing with respect that you have to work to earn their respect, because that is the most more difficult. Like the respect is not given for you without anything. Like you have to earn it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's something that you have to adapt to. Definitely.
Yeah,
being through it.
it would be really like not disturbing, but you can be a bit like, oh, okay, I have definitely to find things to propose by my own or asking a lot. Like I remember myself at the beginning asking a lot, what I can do, can I help with something? Because at the beginning they don't know you also, so they don't know what are you capable of. And even though they trust you, you have also to, like afterwards, like it's logical, but you have also to prove what you can do and when you cannot do or don't feel comfortable to do also. Because actually sometimes, for example, with the students, they ask me, oh, can you help with the shower? And I definitely don't feel myself to help with that. So now they know that I can brush teeth, I can brush hair, but I will not feel comfortable to shower anybody for now. And they listen and they accept it, and there is a conversation. Communication is so big here, and yeah, maybe we can continue with the trust thing from the government a little, because actually we don't know that much, but it's just like they trust the government. That's it. Yeah.
We can explain maybe because I think it's a very good example, the COVID thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that for me that was crazy. Like, so yeah, I think it says a lot about a country how did they go through COVID, because all the countries in Europe have to go through it, and it says a lot about the society. So in Spain, you basically really had to, like, we have police going around and checking if we were doing it, the quarantine correctly, and if all of the citizens were in our homes, and they have controls, especially where with in the roads where people is driving the cars, to check if the person was actually an essential worker and they can go to work or they cannot. And it was very, we were very supervised during all the COVID. I would to sum it up. Whereas here in Denmark, if we want to.
Yeah, it was really different because actually there is no police in the street.
Yeah.
They don't have to have a good reason to be helped. Basically, they just the government say, okay, there is this things will happen, so please stay at home. Everyone stay at home. The most of the school continue what they were doing, but trying to be the most out that they can, because they know that a disease is less powerful when you are out. And that's it. Basically, they just respect it and trust the government. Okay, the prime minister say that it would be better if we are in, they stay inside. And that, as you said, it was totally different in a lot of country, in Spain and France, it was quite the same. But yeah, it shows how, uh, like, for example, to take the opposite, I'll talk about my country, France. We love protesting about the government and the president and the deputies, and it's in our DNA. We like protesting as well, to be alpha. No, 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 we are not agree. That here, no, it's really different. Like if government, if for example also for the pension, I'm talking about that because the French case is really, here the pension is at 67, and actually last year they have a law to put it at 68, and a lot of deputies proposed 72. And when they propose 72, people start to say, oh, no, please, like maybe it's too far 72. In France, just to 62 to 64, people were in the street. So it shows how like they vote for government and they really trust it. I don't see a lot of except communism parties, but like a paper in the street to promote a politics party. Don't that much. That in France, all the time, everywhere. So it's really like a different things in the country. And also, I think that it plays because with the trust thing that we talk, it's also because they know where the money goes to. And I'm going to talk about the education, because basically Denmark has two big things, like the children, the family, is really two major points to make the country work. And we see that the government put money into education. We visit a normal school, and even in the school that we have, with half private, half public, um, that the government promote education and give the money that everyone can have a good education. And maybe you can talk about this magical system that they have with after school, was kind of like really great.
Yeah, that's a very, very big uh, they're very big in Denmark. I think they have a there's a philosopher who invented it, but I don't really know that much of it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Just the concept of it.
Yeah.
Will be enough.
Okay. So actually, the after school is a place where you will. I think it is when you're 15, but there are also high schools that it's when you're older than 18, I think. And it's basically it's like a gap year in a way, but it also has to be more a higher level. Like once you go outside the after school, you have to have a higher level than when you enter.
Yeah.
So the teachers in the after school have to make sure that you're actually learning through the process. But there are many type of after school. There's the you can do gymnastics, business, sports. That is mostly gymnastics. And
Music,
yeah,
theater,
yeah,
arts,
dance, yeah,
yes, a lot,
yeah,
actually, a lot of choice.
yeah. So it's like 1 or maybe more years that you are there living mostly, because most of them have the students living in the school, and they do a lot of things, and they really promote the students who have a lot of responsibility from what I saw. And they have to do a lot of projects, and it's very practical. And they also go on study tours to learn more about other cultures, because this in Denmark is a very big topic. As we say, they are really international.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 1 year for them to get more words practice in general.
Yeah, I think it's more like try to open mind the students, not to let the student be open-minded. I don't know how to say that. And offer them a lot of possibilities to discover more about themselves and know what they want to do in their life, and or just discover a hobby that they can do next to their studies, because they really like promote an education like informal, actually, not just really, not too much academic, more about what they live, what they do next to. It's really that what they promote with after school, I think. But yeah, I think it's a great thing they have, but it looks like the American way of style, because you have to pay a lot of money for that. Some are free, but there are so few that they know, most of the parents, that they have to keep some savings for that the possibilities to their child to go in an after school, actually.
Yeah. Well, but then the university here is free.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money. It's not the price of the university. Like I don't put that much money in my university. It's we're talking about 1,000 million.
Yeah.
It
depends.
Thousand kroner.
Of course, there are many, and like some of them. For example, we know one that goes in a lot of trips, and they are constantly being really international, and going through India, through like different continents, and doing very long travels. And that is a very private one, and it's like you have to have a very high income to go there, like your family has to. And yeah, and also I think that we can also talk about the gap year in general.
Yeah.
Because here they really promote that. And for example, there are some cases in the university where if you're not 20, you cannot go into the university, because that means that you have not experienced a gap year and just do a year without studying, to try to figure out if you really want to study this or not, because they see then the students that doesn't take the gap year as if they are not prepared, if they don't think it through it right.
Yeah, and actually it's not only one gap year. Like there are really like a lot of people, like 2 gap year or 3. I don't know even though like if there is a maximum of gap year that you can take. I know that in France, for example, it's not really that well seen, and when you take one, wow, how dare you to take Yeah, or how they like one gap year in your life, you do nothing during 1 year. Like here, like oh, but you do so many during your gap year because it's experience and a lot of skills that you earn through that. It's really like wealthy, yeah. And maybe we can also talk about also big topic in Denmark, the food, who is really, really, really different. And it's also a bit a part of my culture shock, actually, because from my French people, I think that you already know that the French food out of the country is so expensive because we're representing type of gastronomy that I don't give a fuck of. But it's just like, oh my god, everything is so expensive when I try to cook a French meal that is not the same, like, I don't know. And also the Danish proposition, leverpostej, hold on, oh my god, hold on, it's like a bread, but for my French way of thinking, with my white bread, it's almost an offense.
Yeah, it has a lot of cereals on it, and it's the color of root it's brown, like very very dark brown, because it has a specific type of cereal. But it's really like yeah, it's much healthier than the white one. Yeah. And sometimes they see the white one as a bad one, for example. Yeah. Unhealthy.
Yeah, but actually about the food, like those things that I just mentioned, the group style and all, are really like things that even after 7 months, I'm not in. I'm still like not really like it, but it's still like really like we cannot talk about it because it's so Danish.
Yeah, and they all love it. I mean, of course, there's some people that don't like it, but there are very few exceptions. But yeah, I mean, to say something good, I think I really like Flavie. I like Evelskiver. Yeah, I love those. They're really
She
good.
loves Evelskiver.
And they are mostly like things that you buy in the bakery, like they're bakeries, pastries. Yeah. And the festivalboller, for example, are only out in the festival, but it's carnival. At least that's the translation in Spanish. And also the Evelskiva, it's more for Christmas. Yeah. But they have really good pastries.
Yeah. And really a lot of sugar. Yeah. Like the cake, of course, delicious because full of sugar. Because as it's not enough sugar on the cake, they put candy on top. It sounds weird for me at the beginning, but I tasted and I discovered a world. And I cannot say like all the sugar things that they make, pastry or whatever, I really like it because it's really like when you I don't know, but when you know when you feel sad and you need something really like full of comfort, Danish pastry is in there for you. But basically,
also the Vienna roll is really good, and the cardamom buns is nice. Yeah, I think they have really good pastries, but the food in general as they have it.
So yeah, basically the food is like even when you talk about food with Danish people, they will not say, "Oh yes, our food is like really like popular and everything," but they have good things like the fish. For me, they really know how to cook the fish. But they do really good things with the fish. But we don't. We're not. We're not gonna do like say all the things that are good in Danish food. We will take long or not good, of course. But we are not here for reason that. But I think the food in general is part of the cultural shock because it's a really different way of seeing things. And also the vegetables, you have to know that they eat carrots, tomatoes, cucumber, and pepper all the year. And I was really shocked because they are so known for being ecologists that eating tomato in winter for me is it's it sounds stupid, I have to say. But they're like, no, but see, we buy ecological tomato, they grow in greenhouse, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not really tomato, they don't have any taste. But yeah, it's so you have to know that if you go in Denmark, you will see people eating a lot of carrot and cucumber, basically. teenagers.
So,
Are we
More
done with the culture shock topic?
so, I mean, if we have more things to say, we can always put it in the Instagram. And if you have any questions to us, or maybe we try to sum up everything, but maybe you want to know more about one specific topic, or
Yeah.
the after school actually, like, we know what we hear, but we are not specialists on anything, so just ask us and we will find out a way to respond to your answers.
Yeah, and even though like if there is a really specific thing that we forgot and you want to us to talk about, we keep still do a post on Instagram to talk more about it, because you will see like a post to talk about the culture shock and different things about the Danish culture in general. But if we may forget something, don't hesitate to just send us a message, comments. And even on Spotify, I discovered that you can put comments on Spotify, and so don't hesitate to just put something if you want to, of course.
And our next podcast will be about the school project itself.
Yeah.
And we will try to figure out if we can interview some people here so that you get a more usually different people on the podcast.
Yeah, it would be nice. But we are not sure yet of what the form that it will looks like, because we can maybe have a type of, like a table and we can talk about a lot of things, or just one person who accepts and we will just add in the podcast. We will see. But
it's mostly about what we are doing here, and actually we have been like doing little hints all the way in the podcast. So it is going to be a way to sum up what we are doing actually, like what's our project about, and how it's that we are doing every day here.
Basically, we cannot do a podcast about volunteering without talking about ours.
Yeah.
So you will see and know more about the school.
Yeah. So until then,
This is